also want to make this little video this week. So there's been a lot of crap talking back and forth, especially by one tuner. The other tuner just tunes cars and lets the cars do the talking. I was with the tuner that talks crap, and I didn't really want to have to make this video because I get along with that tuner, even though that I don't tune with him anymore. But it keeps coming apparent that, he has the fastest car, blah, 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 blah. But in reality, if you look at it, the other tuner's car makes more power. More power equals faster, just no one's put it to the ground. My 60 to 130 time with said tuner was high 9s, low 10s every time. And then switching tuners, no hardware change, on a base map, I ran faster. And then 3 revisions later, actually it was 4 revisions later, I took the 60 to 130 record. And then I drove it around for quite a while on that same tune-up, beating the living crap out of it. And I decided to take it to the track, and that week before, I started having coolant issues, and I thought I had it fixed, which I didn't. I ended up blowing a head gasket and was causing a misfire and high boost. So then I ended up fixing that, putting the head gasket and studs, and then I changed. At that same time, I put the ported intake manifold, a stock throttle body that was bored over 4 millimeters, and a 3-inch MAF housing versus the stock MAF housing. And with those 3 parts alone, that one said tuner doesn't do much. I gained almost a full second, 60 to 130. Now, if they didn't do much, then how would I go faster? If the intake manifold, throttle body, and the MAF, the MAF housing didn't do anything. I just don't understand sometimes of the method of thinking or what, but if a part does something, don't say that it doesn't do much, because it did a whole lot. Almost a full second, 60 to 130 is a lot. And I just don't understand the slamming of another tuner when he didn't, when that tuner doesn't even say anything. He just tunes cars. The customers, like me, I talk a little smack every once in a while, or every day, because when alls I heard, a manual never hit the top 10, manual never run 11s, a manual never do this or never do that. When I told them I was going to go for the 60 to 130 record, they all laughed at me. Oh, manual will never keep up with an auto. And then just switching tuners, and then 4 revisions in, I already beat the record. And then everyone's like, whoa, And then when I switched the MAF housing, intake manifold and stuff, and let's just note, on one said tuner, I only made 480 something horsepower and 450 something torque. And then nothing done to the car, I made 518 and 504 torque just by switching the tune. No hardware changes. No, that was with no manifold, no math, and no throttle body. That was still stock motor. The only thing that was upgraded in the whole car was the clutch and the LSD full bolt-ons and the MHI Stage 2 and port meth. It was the same stuff that I made 487, and then I turned around and switched tuners and then made 518. And it was just by switching the tunes. Now, said tuner, after I switched, was upset with me, and I didn't message him back, and said that he would have gave me more if I asked for it, but I don't think I should have to ask for more power. I explained what I was trying to do to begin with. Was I happy with the tune at first? Yeah. But then I realized real quick everyone was making more power than me and more boost. And then I wanted to experiment. And I have a message that was to said tuner that I would like to not turn the power down just because I was spinning the tires because it was cold out when I was tuning. But who knows? At this point, I'm way happier with what I've done with the tuner I have now. And I'm going to continue pushing with that same tuner on the new motor and the new setup, and hopefully break 600 horsepower, be the first one to do it. But a manual slower is what they say or whatever. The only reason I started pushing to go faster is because all the people saying that, oh, the auto transmission's better, blah 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 blah, manual could never keep up, and it just discouraged me because all the fastest Hondas in the world are manual transmissions. There's not a single auto transmission Honda that's fast per se. There's no all-motor Honda Civics, running 9s on M1 fuel with an automatic transmission. There's no sport front-wheel drive Hondas running an auto, running 7s in the quarter mile, running an auto transmission. There's no all-wheel drive Hondas, running 7s or 6s for that fact that have an auto transmission. They're all stick shift or sequential, which is sequential is still a manual transmission. It still has a third pedal. Now, to me, I personally prefer an H pattern because it's traditional, and at any time I can throw the car up in the neutral when you have a problem or whatever. With a sequential, let's say if it's a 5-speed, you gotta down, if you're in 5th gear and something happens, now you gotta shift 5 times down to hit freaking neutral. So that's my take on it. Can a sequential be faster? Sure, it can. Am I ever gonna put a sequential in? No, I probably will never. I'm gonna run the Graf gear set, the street version, which are synchronized gears, and that's where I'm gonna stay. Because in all reality, my car is still a street car. It's not a track car. I like driving the car, on the street. I want to be able to, if I want to hop in it and go to Pennsylvania to Florida, I want to drive it, there with no problems. That's my goal. Goal is, at the end this year, I want to try running the 1050. That's my goal. And 6s in the 60 to 130. And I don't believe any automatic transmission is going to do that. And here's why. everyone's gonna, oh, he's talking shit on the autos again. Well, one, you guys are limited, and it shifts your the seventh gear changes, you lose boost. I don't lose boost. As long as I have my foot on the throttle, and I can even no lift shift, and I still don't lose any boost. Two is I can rev way higher. Last year on the stock motor, I was revving at 8,000, RPMs with zero issues. On the built motor, I plan to rev to like 85 to 8,700 RPMs. And that's with zero issues. So the new motor has springs, retainers, and valves and everything, But I'm just tired of hearing this tuner that, this tuner this tuner that, or bragging about you have one car that's faster than the other ones, when it took 5 years, and that's all it got. And then some of the guys that have never even been to the track came pretty close to running the times. I'm not sticking up for anyone, because the leader in this thing's my friend, and the guy in number 2 spot's my friend. So I don't want to get in the middle of that bullshit, but I'm just tired of the back and forth, because at the end of the day, I'm going to be number 1, and that's my goal. And I'm going to slam everyone saying, I thought a manual couldn't go fast. But end of my rant. You choose who you want. I'll choose who goes faster, and it's reliable, because at the end of the day, I daily drove this thing. I put, I don't know, 5,000 or 6,000 miles on it since I've switched tuners. And note that I've broke stuff because I decided to push the car. Manolito gave me a perfect tune, and I kept asking for more. So, but that's the end of my rant.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all